Lisa's gonna judge us. All right, my name's Tom Atkinson. This is my brother Yates. We're doing a Nick's boots versus JK boots trilogy. This is gonna be part one. So we both just got these. So we're gonna do one video now, one video after about 6 months, and then one video at a year. I went with the Nick's Builder Pro. I got the Quick Ship, I believe is what they call it. I didn't customize them. I just did the Quick Ship and picked, I picked my leather color and the arch type and all that, but I didn't make any crazy customizations. I ordered them October 29th and I got them January 13th. If you do all the custom stuff, it can be a lot longer than that. I think people say it can take 6 months or even longer than that. But this is the boot. It's the first time I've ever had a handmade leather work boot, and I've only worn them a couple days, and I can tell, it's gonna take them a little while to break in, but so far I love them. They're really stiff right now, but after I get them broke in, I have a feeling these are gonna be my favorite pair of boots I've ever had. One reason I decided to get nice boots is because we do tree work, and I wear spurs, and where the spurs are kind of at the bottom of your foot, the cheap boots that I've always worn provide like no support or cushion where the spurs are on your foot, so the arch of your foot just starts to kill you in a pretty short time period. So I'm excited to have these, more sturdy, heavy-duty work boots, and obviously they look good too. So I'm gonna be the Nick's guy, and Yates is gonna be wearing JK's for the trilogy, so I'll let him tell you all about his boots.
All right, like Tom said, I went with JK boots. Also like Tom, I've never had a pair of high-end handmade boots. I've worn Ariats, Irish Setters, Red Wing, just back working for a grain export company. We were required to wear steel-toe boots, but just to give y'all an idea of like the type of boots that I've worn in the past. So I got the JK climber boot with the hard toe, and these I believe are composite toe. I just went ahead and got climbers, like Tom said. We do tree work, and right now I'm just a groundie, but I eventually want to climb, so I went ahead and got a climber boot, so I would have that support when I'm standing on spurs. I ordered these boots November 18th, and they came in January the 5th, and that was just an inventory issue with JK. Nothing against them, just I was expecting to have to wait a while, and I was in no rush to get the boots. But first impressions, today is January the 15th. These boots came in on a Thursday, and I don't think we worked the following day, so a couple of days just wearing them around the house, just walking around the property here. And then this past week, a full work week of, basic tree work for a groundie, dragging brush, just walking around the client's yard. Initial impressions, just like Tom said with the Nick's, because they're super heavy duty, made of high quality material, they are heavy on your feet. Actually, the boots I was wearing prior to these were minimalist or barefoot, So it's a night and day difference. I went from having a very lightweight, flexible boot, actually being able to feel my toes interact with the ground, to a boot with a thick sole, you know, moderate heel height. So at first, you know, it was just, they were just kind of clunky to walk around in. Also, I think just with the boots, with the leather, you know, being brand new and needing to start molding to my foot, as I was like walking down declines on customers' yards, my feet were sliding forward and making contact with that composite toe. So that was a little painful this past week. And also the lacing, for whatever reason, on my left foot / ankle, I was able to use the standard lacing pattern and not have very much pressure on the top of my foot or ankle, or where my foot and ankle meet. But I guess my right ankle is a little fatter, so I was having to use a different lacing pattern. And if you go with JK, they're going to send you some paperwork that explains the different ways you can lace them to offer more or less pressure on the top of your ankle. So it was just, like I said, kind of weird. My right ankle felt like a little more constricted, but so far so good. Today, on January 15th, I can walk around without my toes sliding into the front of the boots anymore. I'm able to lace up my right boot with the standard lacing configuration. So after a week and some change of a full work week and a few days just, you know, walking around the property and the house, no issues. And also, I'd like to add, get quality socks. Darn Toughs, Fox River, you know, there's a handful of quality socks out there, but you're going to need, especially if you go hard toe and the boots come a little loose, you may have your feet slide into that hard toe for the first couple days. So you're going to want socks that offer some cushion in the toe, for sure.
Yeah, I think we both ordered some new socks. I ordered some Darn Toughs because I used those in the military and liked them. So I ordered 6 pairs of new Darn Toughs. So I have 1 pair for every work day. One thing I didn't talk about was sizing. I didn't do the, they've got a thing where you can print out a piece of paper and trace your foot. I didn't do all that. Nick's recommends ordering a half size smaller than what you normally get. So I usually wear a 12. I ordered an 11.5 standard width, which I think is a D, and they fit perfect. I know a lot of people get real hung up on the sizing. Unless you have really weird feet, I would just do what Nick's recommends, order a half size smaller, and you'll be fine. If you've got wider, more narrow feet, you might need to mess with that. But as far as length goes, what they recommend is pretty much bang on. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like I've seen some other people that it seems like they get pretty hung up on the sizing. I just ordered how they recommended and it fit perfect. You want to talk about your sizing deal?
Yeah, so these are the 10 wide, and I normally wear a 13. So if you go with JK boots, they're gonna take you through a very easy process of how to size for their boots. And like Tom said with the Knicks, it's like a trust the process kind of deal. All you have to do with these is they tell you to put a ruler against a, you know, straight wall with no baseboard, and then you put your foot on top of the ruler with your heel against the wall, and you know, whatever your longest toe comes to the nearest 1/4 of an inch or whatever. So my foot was closest to 11.25. I wanted a little wider toe box so I wouldn't have as big of a transition from a minimalist or barefoot boot to something like this, and I went with a standard room between my toe and the end of the boot. So standard toe box length and wide toe box width, but a 10 wide. Like I said, just trust the process, no matter if you go with JK or Nix.
And the last thing is the pricing. So they're both handmade leather boots out of Spokane, Washington. They're expensive. You're looking over over $500, like close to 600 bucks, maybe over 600 bucks. But if you wear cheap boots, just from what I can already tell, if you're used to cheap boots and you spend this money on some nice boots, you're not going to regret it. And again, this is going to be a trilogy. This is part 1 of 3 parts we're doing today, 6 months and a year. I'm pretty certain it's going to end up being your classic Power Stroke versus Cummins, Husky versus Steel, Bush Light versus Natty Light. They're all the same. It's just a personal preference thing. We're just going to share our experience with y'all so y'all can follow along and maybe use it to make your decision. But I know Buck and Billy Ray recommends the Nix, and I think Guilty of Treason, what's his name,
Jacob Rogers,
he recommends the JKs, so we're gonna see who's right. And that's it. I'm gonna hit the stop.